Civilization or Barbarism, an Authentic Anthropology by Dr. Cheikh Anta. This passage also shows that Egyptian matriarchy was evident during the Proto-Dynastic epoch. According to Flinders Petrie, in the epoch, only women were landowners. Seligman reports that the act of putting to death the divine kings existed among the Shilluk and the Dinka of the Upper Nile, as well as among numerous other tribes, all of the regions of the East, West, South, and Central Africa. Too many to enumerate here. He concludes that Egyptian influence did in fact penetrate to the very heart of Negro Africa. Seligman Wright continues. Turning now to West Africa, we find divine kings in their typical form in a group of tribes, Jukun, etc., with sun worships and a ceremonial corresponding to the said. He also cites the Nuer, who present a great many traits in common with the Wolof of Senegal. In fact, their true name is not Nur, but Nas or Nahas, which is the term by which the Egyptians designated the Nubians and other blacks of Africa. Singular, Nahas, plural, Nahasiu. In the tombs of the 5th dynasty, 2500 BCE, one finds representations of oxen with artificially deformed horns, as practiced by the present day Nora. Kerma civilizations, which was already in existence during the 6th dynasty, Resner's excavations, and which persisted until the 20th dynasty, presents traits common to the proto-historic civilization of the Tamuli of Senegal and of ancient Ghana. Collective burial in a royal grave. The Nuer lived next to a tribe called the Golo. This term means monkey in Wolof and could explain the loss of the Egyptian root geth. Such pejorative usage of proper names among neighboring tribes occurs frequently. Lastly, Senegalese proper names still keep their meaning in the Upper Nile region, which they have completely lost in Wolof country. Enyang equals Cayman in Nuer language. Diang equals rain in Dinka language, etc. Some are, in the Upper Nile regions, compound names, which we can barely detect today in Wolof country. So many facts show their true Nilotic origin. Examples: Gaya Jo and Tukola, Gaya Jo, and Noor, Gaya Wo, and Wolof, Gai Wo, and Noor, Kaya Nath would explain Kai and Della, or Tia and Della, and Noor, Anahuac, and Wolof, Anu, equal proto-historic tribe, Egypt. Enyajani, in Noor, Wolof, and Janjan, page 278. And Noor, Ladjor, and Wolof, Latjor, page 210. And Nur, Jayanin, and Wolof, Nayani. Thus, there are still today in Nur country Jayajans and the Lajors. A certain Lajor man is reported to have led an expedition to the east. An expedition to the Upper Nile would shed some unexpected light on the famous tradition of the Njajan and Jay. If it were not for what we know about the antiquity of these names in the Upper Nile region, we would have asserted that these were survivors of the Marchan missions column to Fashoda. Fashoda. There was therefore a relatively recent period, a migration from east to west originating from the Upper Nile, which came to superimpose itself in the West African Sudanu Sinhalese region on a more ancient north south migration, whose first waves arrived around 7000 BCE with the beginning of the drying up of the Sahara. The last ones, during the protohistoric epoch, might have consisted of the Proto Wangara of the Mande language, whereas the tribes coming from the east brought the Neo Bantu languages. We'll stop there and pick back up Civilization or Barbarism. I'm your Royal Rodney. Highest heart.